Welcome to Fashion Label Brazil, the podcast that brings the best of Brazilian wearable design to the world. I'm Farah, your hostess, and in this episode, we are diving into the beauty and craftsmanship of Brazilian fine jewelry. Jewelry is more than adornment, it's a statement, a legacy, and for the women we are featuring today, a talisman. 4 visionary Brazilian brands transform gold, gemstones, and unexpected materials into contemporary amulets. Pieces that carry stories, protection, and a connection to nature. First, we have Silvia Furmanovich, a great innovator. She blends rare woods, gems, and natural elements in pieces that fuse heritage and modernity. Silvia's works are celebrated in the world's most exclusive showcases and museums. Then we talk to Mariana Prates, one part of Prasi, the other being Helena Sicupira. Prasi redefines luxury with sleek designs that honor Brazilian modernism while embracing ethical sourcing. Next, Paola Villas, whose surrealist-inspired creations challenge conventions and invite us into a dreamlike universe where jewelry becomes marvelous wearable art. We also talked to amazing Isa Amaro, one half of Kay Stockler, alongside Karina Stockler, a brand that reimagines the power of jewelry with emotional pieces. All these designers share a commitment to responsible sourcing and a desire to bring Brazilian jewelry to a broader global audience. Their pieces are investment in culture, heritage, and ethical luxury. So let's start with Silvia Furmanovich and the magic behind her creations. Hi Silvia, it's always a pleasure talking to you. How are you today?
Fine. Thank you to be invited for the podcast. And I love to talk about my career and I'm here for you.
So how do you balance tradition with innovation?
Tradition first because my father was a goldsmith, used to have like a atelier inside my house. Not so long ago, I discovered that my great-grandfather from Italy, from Rome, was a goldsmith and he used to make papal rings for the Vatican. So this is a research that I intend to do in the future, to go deeper and maybe in the future to make a collection about my name, which is Longobardi, and all the story of those men that influenced my life.
Amazing. What's your business model?
Well, I have my main store here in Brazil, in the shopping Cidade Jardim, and half of the production we export mainly nowadays to United States. Nowadays, we are in 32 points of sales, like in big corporations and small boutiques. And we are expanding now to the Middle East for the last 5 years.
You go all around the world to get inspiration and to produce the jewelry, from Amazonia to India, and you collaborate with artisans of many places. How does sustainability play in your day-to-day work?
I love to test new materials. Some of them are sustainable, like, for instance, bamboo or marquetry that I do here in Amazonia. And with the time, after the year 2000, I began to travel a lot and I decided to mix cultures with our culture. So nowadays, my work consists more of sociability than sustainability, because I think all those craftsmanships that I work, those men or women that make something with their hands, I make like a curation, and I do develop with them a new technique. Even if they have this technique for a long time, we innovate inside the technique.
Tell me about the highlights of your career since the beginning, when you were appointment only, and now you have like collaboration with the Metropolitan Museum, right?
I began my career in the 2003 when I became a widow. My husband died, and Alexander, which is my older son, came to work with me. At the time, he was 18 years old. And then we started like a small business, very informal, of selling to friends, selling to like small shows. And it grew organically for the next 10 years. Then I opened an office, and then we opened our first store, which was in Daslu. I never stopped working. I love what I do. This is now the present is completely different. I work with my three sons. Each one do something different inside the business. We are family business. It grew organically, and now we are more organized.
You said you travel frequently, right? What are the main highlights that these experiences add to your brand?
I think the highlights were this expansion when I started to travel. And this was a great experience as a woman and as a researcher. And I like to explore new cultures and to bring some knowings for our culture. And I learn a lot also, because every time I would do a collection, I have to study about that culture specifically.
So you have one book that's sold out by Asulin. That's not too old. I mean, it was launched in 2021, right? 4 years ago.
Yes, it was launched in 2021. It was sold out. And now this year we decided to make a second book with the Rizzoli, which is going to be in size a smaller book, but it's going to tell the behind the scenes of my jewelry. In this book, I tell everything that I learned from the artisans that I work with. It's more about this, all the alternative materials that I use, and with the pictures of my trips. And this is a different book than Suli.
It's in English.
It's in English, yes.
Like the first one. Yes.
Like the first one. They want to make the translation also in Portuguese. They want to make both Portuguese, and it's going to be a bigger, it's going to be like 8,000. It's a bigger quantity.
So what else do you have in the future? Tell us about your projects, your new collections.
I think for the future of the brand, I want to go deeper in what I'm doing now. I want to go deeper and still work with artisans. So this, because in this technological world we are living in, this tendency of doing things with the hands that takes a long time, the new generation doesn't want to keep on doing that, what the grandfather used to do. So this is what worries me a lot. This is something that I try to stimulate in those communities, in those cultures. This is more what I see my brand in the future. It's like not, of course, I use technology in my work because this is good, but not in terms of, I want to use more and more craftsmanship.
Perfect. Super. Silvia, if you have to choose one or two pieces, like define your work, which one you choose?
One piece I would choose, it's the bead bracelet, because I started my work with this technique that I learned from a shaman, which it's very important in my life. When she came to my life with a purpose, I did like a therapy after I became widow, and the therapist told me you have to use this as a talisman for the rest of your life. So each collection, I made a version of this bead bracelet, which consists of 5,000 beads weaved by hands with many patterns, and I put stones. So this is something very special in my creations.
Amazing. So it's a pleasure talking to you, learning from you.
Thank you.
I was so much. I'm waiting for the second book.
Yes, I'll let you know as soon as it will be ready, okay?
Now, let's talk to Mariana Prates, co-founder of Prasi, a brand that brings Brazilian architectural designs to beautiful pieces of jewelry. It's great to have you on Fashion Label Brazil podcast, Mari.
Thank you. So nice speaking to you again.
So tell us, how Prasi translates its modernist design into the pieces of jewelry?
The design of the pieces is always about a new kind of old luxury, where we reinterpret favorite things that we remember from our childhood, our mothers and grandmothers wearing. And all the lines are drawn with Brazilian modernist architecture at the core.
That's why I love the mangueira, because it reminds me of my grandmother.
Yeah, that's the when we sat down to talk about creating a jewelry brand, since we had no tradition, we had to go back to our own tradition of family tradition of aesthetic memory and to put some culture, Brazilian culture into it, to make something different, to make something worth seeing and saying, something that was not out there already.
Why did you choose to do jewelry brands?
Actually, Helena really loved jewelry and she wanted to do a jewelry brand of her own. And we were already friends doing fashion collections, each one with its own brand. And then we proceeded to think about the DNA of what this brand would be. And this took almost a year thinking and refining it.
How your background in journalism and Helena in industrial design and both making clothes, fashionable clothes, have shaped Prasi's unique aesthetic?
I think that journalism, well, we decided we would tell a story from the beginning. We would create this universe. I think telling a story maybe came from that journalism. I don't know. Industrial design, we love the construction of pieces, the pieces. We are very drawn to it. Some things that look simple, but in reality are really complicated. It's something we love. And fashion, well, we both love fashion when we both came from fashion brands. And I think fashion specifically comes into the communication of the brand and the ways of using the jewelry, because we always think about unexpected ways and day-to-night ways of wearing the jewelry. And we think about putting maybe on above a turtleneck, or if you go to a fancy party, using something heavy and luxurious and then using and balancing it with something light and small. So I think we have this editorial mind, our jewelry, when the wearability of the jewelry.
You translate that what you told me in the images of the brand, right?
Yeah, sometimes they say do not put so many clothes on your models. You're talking about jewelry, but for us it's the whole image. We could never do something too clean or too zoomed in, so you only see the jewelry and, in black and white or something like that.
Mari, what are Prasi's plans for international expansion, and what challenges does the brand face in reaching new markets, and how do you plan to overcome them?
Now we've opened nationally, right? We've opened our own store in Iguatemi Mall, which we think is the best mall to be. And internationally, since the beginning, we've been in Goop, Broken English, and Dover Street Market. The first one being Dover Street Market. We went to Europe to produce our pieces, so we began producing in Italy. We managed to launch it there as well. We launched it in France. Someone from Dover came and they checked out the jewelry, and it was our first retailer. So it was just like validation like no other. We were so happy. And then Goop followed. And during the pandemic, I think Gwyneth Paltrow saw our pieces somewhere. I even bought one for her. After that, Broken English, which is a very good jewelry community of a store, with Laura Friedman heading the curation. We think the challenge is to be far away from the customers. It's something we've been talking about, how to overcome this challenge. We are very much based in Brazil, so our presence overseas, it's something that helped to evolve the business, but it's something we cannot do the way we wished we could do, like create this deep connection with the customer. So it's something we have been thinking about a lot, how to overcome that.
So, Mari, let's talk about ethical production and sustainability. You always use conflict-free goods and recycled materials into your pieces. How does Prasi balance sustainability with luxury?
At Prasi, we believe that sustainability is not just a choice, but a luxury and a responsibility. But having said that, our field in Brazil is still full of challenges. We are always looking for better ways of doing things, talking constantly to specialists, interests and studying the subject, we do the best we can when we try to always to find better ways of doing it. Our clients are also a part of this journey because several times a year we offer them the opportunity to recycle only their own jewelry, not unknown sourced gold, which we don't do. And this has been growing year by year. Regarding Europe, our production in Europe right now is 100% recycled gold, and all diamonds are conflict free.
So do you produce some pieces in Brazil and other ones in Europe? Is that right?
Yes. During the pandemic, started producing in Brazil, which was wonderful. Also started working with the stones in Brazil and the lapidaries in Brazil, which are otherworldly. They're amazing. So we fell in love with that. So everything worked out very well at the end. And now we have half and half.
What pieces do you use to produce in Europe? In Italy?
We produce like chains.
The chains.
We produce like Dois Irmãos earrings with pave diamonds. There are some stuff.
Mari, last year we started to incorporate new materials like wood in your creations. Why that happened? What's your motivation behind this?
We are always looking for new materials. We started focusing so much in gold, but then you want to innovate and to try new things. Last year we started to think about wood, and then we designed a pendant that had wood and diamonds in it. It's an yin-yang pendant. It always has like a 70s feeling, so it's always something that they used to wear in the late 60s and in the 70s. So we incorporated jacarandá, which is very dark wood and also an extinct tree we had in Brazil. So it has to come from old furnitures and stuff like that. And we designed a pendant with the shape of the Dois Irmãos family shape. We called it the yin-yang pendant because it has white and then this dark brown in it. And we had also a ring, a yin-yang ring. And we mix it with metal and diamonds. It's important.
Yeah, it's beautiful. If you have to say, who is your client? How do you define?
My client, I think she's very discerning. Yes, she knows a lot about lots of things, especially about design. And she probably have already an emerald ring or solitary ring or diamond pieces or sapphire pieces. And she now wants to incorporate design in her assortment of jewelry, like more design instead of just to have the basic 4 stones and diamonds. So she's discerning. I think she's moved into design when she thinks about jewelry.
I miss you. I want to visit you in São Paulo.
Oh, I miss you, Ale. Please come. Please come soon. Thank you so much. So great talking to you.
Joining me now is Paola Villas, the most neo-surrealist of jewelers. Her creations transcend tradition, turning jewelry into wearable art with emotional and imagination. Excited to have you on Fashion Label Brazil, Paola.
Hi, Ale. Thank you so much for the invite. I was really honored to talk to you.
How long are you working with jewelry and objects?
It started as actual wearable sculptures and sculptures in different sizes. And then, in 2016, I actually launched the brand. I entered this goldsmith's course where I started doing these sculptures, but in a tiny scale, the jewelry. They transformed itself. And also they opened so many doors, and they were so different that they were conversation starters. And then I started connecting with so many different people, going into a grocery store, and the lady that was putting the prices, talking to me and asking about the piece that I was wearing, from being into an art gallery and the gallerist asking about it. After that, I really understood the power of the pieces.
Amazing. So you provoke an emotional connection with the people.
Yes, yes.
How do you describe your clients?
I have so many different clients. Since the 13-year-old girl that is starting to connect with her femininity and starting to enter this woman, a hint of what it's like to be a woman. Also, her mother is my client and her grandmother is also my client. What's the line that connects everyone? I think it's this deep curiosity and this deep interest about the feminine world. So women that are in process, that are like struggling or putting their energy to connect with their feminine and to connect what it's like to be a woman nowadays. And even if it's unconscious, but I think this is like the connection.
That brings me to the next question. You are always about femininity and the new surrealism that now are so in. We are like 100 years from the beginning of the surrealism.
I started as a neo-surrealist without having like total conscious about it. You can see in my work that I repeat a lot, like the body, the woman's body. It's because for me, it's really important for us to feel that we own our bodies, because this is the first thing that in the material world, in this place that we live in society, this is the first thing that is put apart from us, that we don't decide over our bodies. Sometimes we think we are deciding, but we are not truly deciding. It's not aligned with things that with our deepest wishes and everything. For me, like this whole investigation, it connects a lot, and I really need to access the unconscious mind of women. I think the surrealism came to me as like promoting and creating this dream world where you can be whatever you want and you can express it like you want and you can own your body, because that's what it should be, you know.
Do you have any particular collection that the people identify more, or like it was like viralized?
Yes, it's kind of like the Louise bracelet. It was my first piece. It's my kind of like amulet. It's a piece that has 9 ears. It's still a hit. Some people, it's too big for them, so they'll go for the Louise earrings, or they'll go for something more delicate for day-to-day life. I think the Louise line is very successful and it is the brand also. Genet, which is the middle finger piece. And it's curious because I always put like little secrets in the piece, and I really like to work with something that it's inside something, so like a dream. So you have this Genet piece, you have the hand is wearing, like in the wrist, it's wearing the Louise cuff.
Paola, tell us about the story of your brands and what are the plans for the future.
By the end of 2016, we went like viral, the international market. So we were selling like huge like orders for Net-a-Porter, Modo Operandi, Selfridges, Bluebird, like Joseph, everything you can imagine. Also in Asia, in Padder Vision, Lane Crawford, everything. It was like a really powerful, strong movement that happened very organically, because I had some pieces that buyers were like crazy about the brand and crazy about these pieces that went viral. And then we decided to focus on the national market here in Brazil. I was born and raised in Rio, so I had my atelier in Rio for the whole time. And then I opened the store. My first store, it was in São Paulo in 2019, important. Afterwards, we opened, after pandemics and everything, we opened the store in Rio. And it was really nice because both the stores were in the Louis Vuitton city guides of each city. And we were really, really happy with it. Our stores, they were into Vogue Italy. We had like really good press internationally and nationally. In the future, we really still growing in national markets, and we're looking into other markets as New York, because now New York is our first international market.
Amazing. Paola, congratulations for your amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Helena. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Ending this episode, we have Isa Amaro from K. Stockler. While her creations are the last we will explore today, they are no less extraordinary. K. Stockler's work speaks volumes. Let's dive into her vision on Fashion Label Brazil. Hello, Isa.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Isa, I'm very curious about the story of Kai Stockley, or Kay Stockley in English. Tell me a little bit about you, Karina, and the DNA of the brand. What makes the brand unique?
Well, I can say that the brand was created from a connection that Karina and I felt when we met on a jewelry course at the European Institute of Design back in 2017. I think that what makes it special and unique is that we combine feelings and modernity. Just like nature, our pieces transforms and adapts, allowing the customer to interact with it. Rings become pendants, pieces that can be worn in many different ways. They are unique pieces that make an impact.
So, you merge with Kay Stockler art and femininity to make beautiful pieces. How do you hope the pieces inspire your clients with confidence, self-expression? And tell me a little bit the creative process of both of you.
Since our first collection, Savage Reborn, we had in mind creating jewelry that would inspire women. But it was only on Oasis de la Femme, our latest collection, that we were able to express the concept of being a woman in the most powerful way. In Oasis de la Femme, we explored animals and anima, which are the masculine and feminine sides of the being. How important is to have a balance between them. This is also was expressed in the selection of the gemstones. When you see the jewelry, you get the impression that they have a correlation with nature, as some resembles flowers and other nature's elements. When you dive into the history of the collection, you connect with the brand and use the jewelry as an amulet.
Isa, Kai Stockler is now 4 years old. Can you tell us about your business model?
Well, we had the opportunity to internationalize the brand very early on, after about a year of launching, and it was very challenging for us since neither Karina nor I had any experience on the subject. With the best help, we joined the old Brazil Fashion Now program, which was created to meet the needs of national brands during the pandemic. The Brazil Fashion Now was a fashion export program that took place throughout Fashion Label Brazil in partnership with Apex Brazil, with the intention to export Brazilian brands to international retailers. And it was a great success for us. We couldn't be happier. And this experience gave us the maturity we needed to understand the entire export process, from the care with the quality of the product to the preparation of the company for exporting, such as qualification, pricing, issuing documents, custom clearancing, segmenting communication to local culture, all the steps for a safe export. Today, Kay Stockler sells throughout its own e-commerce and throughout partners stores in São Paulo, United States, and Qatar.
Do you have incorporate responsible practice? And which one can you tell us?
Yes, we do. This is in fact a subject that we take very seriously at Kay Stockler. Today we work on 3 pillars of sustainability. The first is slow fashion. We value less excess and more essence. The second is the metal. We work with upcycling, which is the metal of reuse. This movement is not new in jewelry. It was always being natural. It's common to have a family with family jewelry that have already undergone into transformations and renovations.
Yeah.
In reuse, metal can be melted, purified, and transformed into something new countless times, which allows me to work with a raw material without losing its quality or durability. And in addition to reuse, we also used certified metals from suppliers who attest that the material comes from legal mines, with respect environment and labor laws, with Amagold and QMS certifications. The third pillar, we use suppliers who guarantee the origin of the diamonds throughout the Kimberley process certification system, a process created to increment transparency in the diamond supply chain in order to eliminate the trade in conflicts diamond. Like almost everything in sustainability, the path is long and full of challenges, but it's definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah. What pieces
do you have in your collections that you think define Kay Stockler?
The pieces that is very much in keeping with the brand, by far one of my favorites, is the ludic earrings. The client can interact with the piece. The earring can be worn in three different ways. And this characteristic is a very strong characteristic of the brand. So you can wear the same piece in very different ways, a lot of different ways. This piece in specific, we created a one-sided pendant, egg-shaped, that opens and reveals the symbol of the renewal. That is the frog. The frog is one of the elements chosen to represent our first collection, Savage Reborn. This collection is based on resilience. It reflects the ability of the living beings, especially humans, to adapt and overcome adversity and transform difficult times into opportunities to grow and evolve.
Beautiful. Before we finish, I want to talk about this special line of sentimental jewelry that you just launched.
Yeah, the Poesy collection emerged very organically when Karina and I got pregnant practically together. Yeah, it was like 3 months apart. It was inspired with the desire to immortalize the moment and feeling of love and nostalgia. Mm-hmm. Karina, my partner, she was the one who did all my ultrasounds while I was pregnant. And that was when the first piece of this collection was born. We designed a bracelet with my son's real heartbeat engraved on it. Wow. So it's a very special, it's a very special piece for us, and everybody likes it. Everybody loves it. Later on, we came another very special design. That it is a pendant that we engrave a QR code. The client can read this QR code and drive you a video of an important period of their lives with a loved one, with someone that has already passed away, or with a pet, or like any chapter of the client's life. It's a cut of their history on their own hand, like it's very nice as well. All these pieces are customized pieces. You can customize the way you want. We also have a few inline pieces, like we have a little bottle that we can open its lid and put inside a little perfume or holy water. You can have the letter of the name of the person you love, of your son, your own first letter of your name, like whatever you want. It is a very special piece as well. It's a very nice piece. And from then on, we developed lots of other pieces that tell stories, and all with a lot of meaning and interesting feelings. And they are all a huge success.
It's amazing knowing more about Kay Stockler, talking to you.
Thank you so much, Hale. I couldn't be happier. Thank you.
As we wrap up today's episode, we would love to hear from you. Don't forget to share, like, and leave your suggestions. Your feedback helps us bring you even more incredible stories from the world of Brazilian fashion. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Farah, and I'll be signing off for now. But let's keep the conversation going on Instagram and LinkedIn. And if you would like to join our newsletter, feel free to drop your email below. Until next time on Fashion Label Brazil podcast. Ciao!